Hi guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to pluck a part out of a free part wig. Alright, so I wanted to come on here today and I want to give you guys a tutorial on how you can actually pluck parts out of your wigs. And what I mean by that is if you have a free parting space on a wig, you can actually go ahead and put in a fixed middle or side part of your choosing into that wig so you can really just kind of throw her on and go about your life. This is really going to make a wig more of a throw and go type wig for you because you don't have to sit there and mess with the hairline and mess with the part when you put it on. So I wanted to go ahead and show you guys how to do this. I know there are tons and tons and tons of videos out there on plucking wigs, and I wanted to just kind of give you one video to show you really just the easiest way that I've found to do this, and it's really relatively simple and quick to do. Disclaimer, we are like 2 days out of packing the last stuff up and heading out of here to California. So I accidentally packed up my wig head and my wig stand, trying to be efficient and good about getting everything packed on time. So we're gonna be going ahead and use my lovely husband, Stanley, today as my wig model and wig head, because this is something I would recommend you either do on a wig head or, like Stanley, a willing participant or a semi-willing participant, whatever you got.
Not willing at all.
You can pluck you can pluck a wig on your own head, but it's kind of hard. You'll see why when I show you how I like to do it, because it's really better to be able to be kind of like on top of the wig to see really where you're putting that line. So you can do it that way, but for this tutorial, I would recommend a wig head or a person you can put the wig on to do this. So the only things you're gonna really need for this video are a set of tweezers. I recommend getting a set that are like rounded or very flat on the end. If you go with ones that are pointed like this, you do have a higher risk of stabbing your lace, so use those with caution if you decide to use a pair like this. And then the other thing you're going to want to have is some type of rat tail comb, so we can go ahead and part out the part that we're going to want to pluck. This is really all you need, and we're gonna go ahead and get into this. I'm gonna go ahead and throw a wig cap on Stanley and we'll get started. All right, so when I'm talking about plucking out of a free part, I just wanna show you guys what I mean. So on the inside of this cap, what is happening? On the inside of this cap, you can see this has got all this parting lace space. So any of this space here, you can actually pluck a part in. As you can see, I have a middle part in this wig already. This is how this wig came. But for the video purposes, because I packed all of my free part wigs up, we're gonna go ahead and use this one, and I'm gonna show you how to do this with plucking a side part into the wig. But you can do this with any area of this lace to pluck the part where you want it to be. All right, so we have this middle part here. If you're doing this with a free part wig, there really wouldn't be any part in this at all. So we're gonna go ahead and we're going to part out the part we wanna pluck. So when you're doing a middle part out of a free part wig or a true free part wig, you won't have to do this extra step I'm gonna show you after I part this out, but there is an extra step you're gonna wanna do if you're doing a side part into an already made middle part or a middle part into an already made side part. Because like this wig has the parting space to change the part, but they already plucked this out. The manufacturer already plucked this out. So there's some manipulation we have to do to kind of get it to stay where we want it to, but I'll show you guys that as a final kind of bonus step. So for the first step, we're gonna go ahead and just part out the part we want. So I'm gonna go with a side part here. And you wanna make sure you stay within that lace parting space, obviously, because if you see tracks here, so we came over a little too far, so we're not gonna have as much space right here to make a nice long part. So I'm gonna bring it in a little bit more. And this obviously is going to really differ based on how much parting space your wig has. So on a true free part, I would probably have a lot more parting space than I do on this wig, because this wig really is a middle part, so it doesn't need all that extra parting space. But in most wigs, you would be able to like free part wigs, you'd be able to get a little bit more of that side part in. And if you have a full lace or a half lace wig, you would definitely be able to get a nice like deep side part into your wig. All right, so once I part this all the way over, so I have this nice visible parting space right here, you're gonna notice that because this has been manipulated already to stay one way, I'm gonna have to take a little bit of heat to this and get it to fall over the way I want it to. So this is where you really first off want to tread with caution, make sure your wig is heat safe, and find out how high of a temperature your wig can handle. Always, 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 when working with heat, start off as low as possible. Do a test strand down below somewhere so you don't ruin a wig, and always check to see if the information on whether it's heat safe or not is on the website where you purchased it from. But we're gonna go ahead and take a hot comb to the side of this and just get this part to stay where I need it to. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and take our hot comb here. I prefer a hot comb because I can get really nice and close to the root and really get it to lay flat. Use a straightening iron or anything like that you have at home, a heat comb. Just like I said, you can get much, much closer just to that root, especially with these curlier wigs. I don't wanna mess up the curl pattern. I really just wanna fix this. So in that case, I wanna be able to just get right in precise where I wanna be and not really any further. And then another thing that you can do to kind of hide and help cheat if you do have a smaller area and you can start to see the weft a little bit more right here, is you can actually take your hot comb and you can kind of just gently brush a little bit of this hair back, and then it'll kind of give you that illusion that you have at the top of your crown, and it'll also blend in your part into the stopping space. You can do this if you have any type of like wig where you're starting to notice that the weft is kind of showing, because the hair will start to fall in weird places, especially after you wear it a while. So you can go ahead and always just kind of take this, and I just take my hot comb and I just kind of, like I said, gently, very gently brush the hair back a little bit, and then it'll help kind of give you that illusion of the crown area and also help hide that wefting where the lace stops and the weft starts. So now we're gonna go ahead and go in and pluck. Now, as you can tell, if you really wanted to, you could stop right here and you would be totally fine. If you took a little concealer, you could take a small little makeup brush and run concealer right through here. And you could do a very, very good job at cheating the look of a plucked part here without actually plucking it out. So if you don't wanna go ahead and permanently put in a part, this is kind of the step where you can stop. And you'd be totally fine, and it would look really awesome and amazing, and it would give you the result you want, and you could just flip it back, take a little bit of heat, and get your original part back. Or if you're wanting to make more of a permanent change with this wig, or you want it to be a little bit more of a defined part, you can go ahead and do the next step, which is actually to go in and pluck out all of these hairs right here in this part line. And we're also gonna make it look a little bit less of like a perfect line, because when we have our hair naturally parted, obviously it's not a perfectly straight line. So we're just gonna go ahead and kind of just make this not so perfect, and also define a little bit more by plucking out some of these hairs. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my tweezers here and I'm gonna pluck. And I'm gonna do the same thing I usually do when I pluck a middle part, and that's kind of give you that little triangle shape a little bit right here in the front. I've already plucked the hairline along the hairline of this wig, so it has kind of a faded hairline to begin with. The last step that you can do if you want is you can go ahead and take some concealer, like I said, with a little bit of a makeup brush, and you can run that right here. I appreciate my amazing, awesome husband for being my wig mannequin. I appreciate it so much, thank you. And I'm gonna throw this wig on real quick and I'll show you guys the finished results. All right, so this is her. I went ahead and just added some concealer to the inside of the cap right here, and that's really all I did to her. And this is how she looks. So she is now a side part. You can still also cheat her over if you wanna make her more of a side part and move her over even more. But now I have a side part plucked in. And the beauty of this is that I can actually go ahead and take my heat and go back over, and I already have my middle part here too. So it's still there, and you won't see these little plucked out parts when you flop your hair over. Just obviously make sure you're always going back to the same part. That's also another reason why I kind of like doing the concealer on the inside of the cap, because it shows me where that part line is if I ever do decide to change it back. I have a good guide. So that's kind of a little tip/trick I have for you guys if you are doing these things to your wigs, so that you know where you started and you can go back to it if you don't like it the way that you've made it. Before I let you guys go, I just want to remind you of a couple things. If you are new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe. We are going to be doing a huge 5,000 subscriber giveaway, and we are so close to hitting that. So make sure you subscribe if you're new here. If you aren't and you know people who would love this channel, let them know and have them subscribe too, so we can get to that 5,000 subscribers. Give me a like on this video, guys. I'd really appreciate it. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you get all the notifications on all the videos we do. And I really appreciate you guys watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you on the next one.